It's a challenge to all presidential aspirants. Today, Dr. Pakwesi Nduom of the PPP made history as the first presidential aspirant to publish the results of his comprehensive medical examination. But was it really necessary? Will the other presidential aspirants follow in his lead? And to what end? Details when we return here on your election headquarters. You're live on Joy 99.7 FM and live on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. This is your election headquarters. This afternoon, we are also live on Love FM in Kumasi, and the program is brought to you by Infobox Mobile Services. Text election or joy to 1922 for more. Each SMS costs 10 pesos. Be the first to know it all the issues, the promises, the policies, the results, and more from the Joy election headquarters. My name is Arba Kumson. Declare your medical status. That's the challenge the presidential candidate of the PPP, Dr. Pakwesi Nduom, is throwing to his colleague contestants. Dr. Nduom has chosen to lead by example. He last week submitted to voluntary medical tests to demonstrate to Ghanaians he's in good health to lead the country, if given a nod in December. The 2-hour medical checkup at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital included full body examination, lab tests to check sugar and cholesterol levels, prostate cancer, a voluntary HIV test, and an X-ray scan. Well, today he published the results of the medical examination, and my colleague Evans Mensah has a copy of that report, and he joins me in the with the details. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me, Evans.
Good afternoon, Arba.
So we know that he did a medical exam first. What were the results of those?
Well, a number of things the doctors were looking for. For example, blood group, for example, he was O positive. Fasting blood sugar, again, we're told that that is normal. HIV, again, HIV 1 and 2, non-reactive, and I spoke to a doctor friend who says that means that he does not have that particular virus. Typhoid check, Widal, we are told prostate check. Again, he also did a chest x-ray, which is normal. Liver function is normal. Blood electrolytes is normal. Hepatitis B, non-reactive as well.
Evans, what are his habits?
That is interesting. First of all, the question was asked, do you drink alcohol? He says yes. And then the follow-up questions were every day, 1 or 2 days per week, or occasionally. And he says occasionally. And then again he was asked, do you smoke? He says no. Those are basically the habit questions that was asked of him.
And briefly run us through his medical history.
That's quite a long list here. Hypertension, no. Chest pain, no. Again, stroke, no. Shortness of breath, no. So if we run through the entire list, including kidney disease also, it's no. The only part where he answers yes is visual impairment. And the doctor makes a note here, says short-sightedness. He wears correcting eye glasses. Now, it's instructive to also note that the examiner had an opinion to render on this particular examination. It says, for example, based on the results of Dr. Pakwesi Nduom's medical history inquiry, physical examination, laboratory exam, I conclude that he is physically healthy with normal functioning body organs and systems. He says he's of sound mind with a optimum mental well-being, health and function. He does not have any significant pathology, disease or disability. And this is an interesting part. He says his cholesterol level is high. He will benefit from cholesterol lowering dietary advice by a dietitian and cholesterol lowering medication if necessary within 6 months. Stress management exercises may also help. And then in view of the overall favorable health findings, his age, and he's 59 years old. His role in society, I recommend that he undergoes executive medicals annually.
Okay, thank you very much, Evans Mensah, with those details. And I'm told that we've been joined on the line by Dr. Pakwesi Nduom. Many thanks for your time, Dr. Nduom.
Yeah, thank you.
So has this exercise that you embarked on served its purpose?
Well, for me personally, it has. It confirms some of what I knew, but it also gave me some additional opportunity to improve upon my health. and engage in some preventive healthcare activities. For example, the doctor or the specialist that examined my eye recommends that I go back after the election for him to do further examination to make sure that there is nothing there to worry about, and I will do so. The cholesterol situation I have known, which is why I exercise vigorously, so that while the bad cholesterol is high, the good cholesterol is also high, but I will take extra steps to ensure that cholesterol doesn't present a medical problem for me in the future. I believe that it is all good to know what is to be done, but it is also very good for me to have gone through it, because the practice, what I went through, has convinced me that I must make sure that all my employees and all my companies go through such an exercise every year. And definitely, if anybody wants to be president of this republic we call Ghana, they must go through a thorough executive medical examination. Not just when they want to become president, but when a person wins every year. They should go through such an exam, make the results public so the nation is assured that they are okay. And if there is any medical condition that is worrisome, that they are given all the treatment necessary so they are of good health, so they can devote all their time and attention to serving this nation.
But Dr. Nduom, the candidates, I would assume that the candidates know their current medical status and would see to it if they get any sort of illness or ailments and treat those sicknesses. So really, what difference will it make if they come out and, you know, undergo such a medical exam that you did and publish the results?
Well, Arba, you see, if anybody occupies an executive position of any type, even in the private sector, they are required to undergo a medical examination before they assume the office. And a medical examination every year, even in the private sector. And it is not a private matter to that individual. The employer knows, okay? And therefore the company knows. So what more important of an office is there than that President of the Republic, whom we will all rely upon for our well-being. So it is not a private matter any longer. Just as our finances is not a private matter any longer once we choose to go for the office of presidency.
Right.
So it's a matter of public concern.
Dr. Nduom, do you honestly believe that your colleague candidates are going to follow in your footsteps?
Well, I would hope so, for their own good and for the good of the nation. And, you know, as leaders, we lead not by law, but we lead by moral persuasion. Okay, the moral high ground that we take as leadership is a practical matter that we all must deal with. And if somebody would say, hey, I don't care what you say, I don't care what you think, my health is a private matter, my finances is a private matter, how I live my life is a private matter, then they should not want to seek the office of President of the Republic, because that's a public matter, a matter of national interest.
Dr. Nduom, I would crave your indulgence. If you're close to an electrical gadget or equipment, please move away from it because we're getting some feedback. But hold on to the line for me because I'm joined on the line by medical doctor who once ran for president within his party. I'm talking about Dr. Arthur Kennedy. Many thanks for your time, Dr. Arthur Kennedy.
Good afternoon, Araba. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Thank you very much for asking. So, did what Dr. Nduom do, was it really necessary?
Well, I don't know that it was necessary, but it was helpful. I think that he has advanced the frontiers of accountability in our politics.
Now, you had details of his medical report. Is it comprehensive enough or was something missing? You're a medical doctor. Tell us.
It is comprehensive. I think that they did a few things that were unnecessary, and they omitted a few things. But having said that, I commend the doctors for doing that. For example, I feel that a 59-year-old who has no complaint should not have a chest X-ray. And I think that is backed by the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force. I also think that the prostate test should have been preceded by a rectal exam to feel the size of the prostate. I think a typhoid test and liver function test in a patient who is asymptomatic may not necessarily have been needed. So to the young doctors listening out there, I think that while this is a good development, we should be careful about what kind of exams we do that are necessary.
Now, the doctors indicated that Dr. Nduom has high cholesterol level. Is this a concern for a potential president?
It is a concern for everybody. I think that their recommendations for treatment are right, that he should watch his diet, he should exercise, and if it doesn't come on, they should put him on medication. It puts everybody at risk for stroke and heart disease. So I think their recommendations are right.
So Dr. Nduom believes that anyone seeking the high office of president must go through this medical check to show that he or she is in good health to lead the country. Do you share that principle?
A little bit, but not completely. I think that those seeking to be president have an obligation to know and to assure the public that they are in good enough health to be president. It does not mean that they have to tell us all the details of their exam. I, for example, would accept a one-paragraph statement from the candidate physician saying that the candidate is in good health.
Thank you very much. Dr. Nduom, a last question for you. You also say that you will lead in declaring your assets. When will that be?
Well, Araba, in a few days, I will make my income tax returns public, asset declaration documents public, and sources of campaign funding, and the financial statements on our campaigns also public. Because transparency, accountability, they are all important when one is taking a high office such as the one that I'm looking to occupy, the presidency of the Republic of Ghana.
Thank you very much. That's flag bearer of the PPP, Dr. Papakwesi Nduom there. Thank you very much for your time. You also heard from Arthur Kennedy. He's a medical doctor by profession, and he contested in the NPP's presidential... we're taking a short break. We'll be right back. Election headquarters for today. We were hoping to speak to the PNC flag bearer, Dr. Hassan Ayariga, for his thoughts on this matter. We also wanted to speak to the NPP flag bearer for his thoughts on the same issue, but we're unable to reach them. When we do, we'll bring it to you in our subsequent programs. That's how we end election headquarters for today. The program was live from the Multi-TV studios and live on Joy News channel on Multi-TV, also on radio on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra, on Love FM in Kumasi, and on the net at My Joy Online. Election headquarters was brought to you by Star Ghana and this was also supported by Infobox Mobile Services. Text election to 1922. I'm Araba Kumsun. Join us same time tomorrow. Good afternoon.